Martin, do you give me some water, please? Beautiful. Yeah. Um, Heidi, uh, is it possible that we can do the dance this evening? So we're going to have a nighttime fire dance. Those are the best, most beautiful dances, the nighttime. And we will start 6 o'clock. Um, feel this. Ah, much better. You're closer. Yeah, much better. Martine here? Martine, yeah. Did you get the movie? You got it. And Stefan, did you bring your movie? Okay. We have 2 wonderful movies. They're documentaries. They're wonderful. They're really, really nice. So we have these 2 movies. And this, one of the movies, was he a director of movies? He was a director. This person received a death sentence from a physician that he was dying of cancer. And he was a director, movies. And so he decided to go away into the world, this time on his own, with his camera, because he knows his camera best, and go see the world through his camera differently, from a personal point of view. So he did a lot of travels, and we never get to see him, but we get to see what he saw through his eyes. And he died after that, after he came back, and then he passed away. And the other movie is a documentary on the Inuit Alaskan Eskimo, the Inuits. And they live up way up Canada, Alaska way. And it's a story about a great hunter, but he is, I don't know how old he is. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell how old Indians are. But he was an old man already. And he talked about what it was like for him to grow up in the snow, in the ice. And it was, it's really ironic because he said when he was young, his parents gave him two dogs. The Inuits, now they have, what do you call those? Sleds, those electric snowmobiles. But back then, their cars, their buggies, their transportation was a dog sled, with dogs and sleds. That's how they got around, and that's how they hunted. So when he was a little kid, his parents gave him two dogs, and they built him a tiny sled. And so he had his dog sled just like his parents, and he wanted to be a great hunter, and he became a great hunter, and he hunted all his life. And later on, in his after he reached a certain particular age, he and his grandchildren killed all his dogs except for one, so he would not go out to hunt anymore. And how he talked about it, and how he looked at it, because he lost his life as a hunter. But the story is about his life as a hunter. And it's also, there's a beautiful song in there, and it was Teufen who found this on television, and it was a documentary, but it came out of Denmark, I think, or Norway. And he had contacted the television station up there that he wanted, how can he get this documentary, and they sent it to him, the whole thing. So we have both pieces. And he extracted the song from that. It's a beautiful song, and we'll be playing it. If I forget, it's that mini disc. It's in that mini disc that I put on the equipment there. If you could take the song out and sometime today. We're going to be going over the Bible pictures again, and the other pictures. It's getting ready to bring this out again. Personally, I know 99% of you. I know 99% of the people in here. There's only a few new people. And over all the years that we have worked together with this, it's not so easy to see these same young faces all the time. It hurts one's heart. It really does. It's not so easy. But I thank you very, very much for coming back. I hope I'm not too boring, But I come here to Switzerland, I come to Ireland, I come to England, I come to Scotland, I come to Germany, I come to France, because I was born alone. And the most profound realization that that hit me very hard was that I leave alone. I leave alone. I don't take my shoes. I don't take my my TV. I don't take my wonderful computer. I leave alone. And that realization, it was extremely difficult to realize. And because of that, when one goes, definitely one leaves something behind, whether it is our clothes or our money, our home, our possessions, but they're left with someone. But the other thing that always hits any parent, is I wonder what my children are going to do. And I wonder what their children are going to do. And it's interesting how when it comes to our own family, we have this more of a bond, more of a feeling to to protect and to hold, and not so much strangers. But when one really thinks about leaving this world, and wondering what one can really leave behind, because we have to leave so much behind. I wonder what in the world I can leave behind that my grandchildren can benefit, and their grandchildren can benefit. And personally, I found out more important, much more important than where I am going. Much more important than where I am going to go or what happens. So then I started to think about my trash, the trash cans and the garbage, what I leave behind, the works, the labor that I do at work, whether it's a garden or a home or an image of myself as a parent or a friend or a citizen or a stranger, but to leave what is good to leave behind. That is more important than where I'm going to go. And very funny thing, somehow I found myself a grandchild. Somehow, ironically, very oddly, I found myself a grandchild. And very ironically, I found myself a great-great-great-grandchild too. And very ironically, I found myself a brother. And very ironically, I found myself again a father. So somehow the cycle repeats itself. And somehow we find ourselves in this cycle. And there really is something to how you take care of your field. And it depends on the weather and what you're going to benefit and what you're going to gain from that field. It makes a difference, the care. And as it is for each of us. And when our minds and our feelings expand enough, and we start to relax with our own lives enough, the magic can start to erupt in our cells. The magic can start to erupt from our bones. And somehow we have found ourselves in the year 2001, somewhere and in some time. Out of 15 or 20 some odd billion years, in the year 2001. A great-great-great-great-grandchild we are. A grandchild we are. A daughter and a son we are. A father and a mother we are. And a neighbor we are. In the year 2001. And somewhere along the line, someone a long time ago, somehow I know cared, really cared. That in the year 2001, those people could have a better life. And then very quietly begin to realize I found a formula. I really found a formula that works. And that was to learn to care more for life than just for yourself. Much more. Quietly we grow up. Quietly our bones, they get taller. And quietly they stop. And sometimes I wonder if I could ever feel and ever hear the sound of my bones stretching and expanding inside, what that would do. And I wonder if there would ever be a time, if I could ever recognize the moment when my bones have finally stopped growing. What a thrill that would be. What a thrill. To even hear our hair growing inside. What a thrill that would be. But about the only thing that we all have heard is our own heartbeat. And somehow the city noise and somehow the disco noise or the factory noise somehow overpowers the sound of our heart. And yet, a matter of attention and a matter of caring, no matter how loud the sound can be externally, one can always hear your own heartbeat, if you wish. I remember lying in the bathtub many years ago. And the water was pretty warm. And when you lie there for a while in warm water, your heart can start to race, speed up a little bit. And then how one starts to relax into this heartbeat and just stay with it. And I found myself that I can only take so much of it before I felt fear. I got fear of it. Because after 10, 15 minutes of just hearing your heartbeat, somehow it was very foreign, became very foreign to me. Just a heartbeat, beating away, just a heartbeat. And then feeling what it is that I am, and there's nothing else but a heartbeat. There are no words, no English words. Just a heartbeat. And I wondered how long could I stay in a warm bathtub? And how long could my intention hold on to this heartbeat without having fear? And after many years of trying, I never could stay with it for too long. I've always found myself in fear. But dreaming about my dreams, constantly having reverie thoughts, constantly painting all kinds of new pictures in my imagination, I could do that forever. And be so comfortable and so confident in my imagination and in my dreams forever and forever and forever, but I could not even stay with my own heartbeat longer than 10 minutes. What a paradox it is. What a paradox. And as it is for our feelings too, it's difficult for any human being to stay in our own feelings, where it can be very painful and very joyful and very wonderful. And yet the heartbeat continues to beat regardless of how much you paint in your imagination. Or if your mind is fixated and feeling and hearing your own heartbeat, it's always there. And trying to find some psychological reason for all of this, it's not so easy. Throughout all these years of teaching with stories, teaching with silence, teaching with fire dance, teaching with music, and teaching with chanting, and teaching with laughing at our mistakes. And somehow along the line, one starts to relax with oneself, as we have. Or something has drawn you back, or something has become comfortable inside, or somehow the gap is not so big anymore in our hearts. I was talking with a young lady, and she was saying we were talking about hunters. People hunting for men and people hunting for women. And how at such an early age, the hunters wake up and start to hunt for a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife or husband or 3 or 4. And the hunting, how persistent and how natural it is to go and start to hunt at such an early age. And for it to be so strong at such an early age. And I've heard some falling in love at the age of 5, and sometimes at the age of 7 was their first love. And some, we had to wait till the age of 9, sometimes 12, and sometimes 16. And yet, that little heartbeat was beating inside this whole time. And yet, I wonder what the hunters, because I'm a hunter too. It's in me too. I hunted too. And I wonder what I was hunting for. A hunting for a kiss, a hunting to touch, a hunting to have a trophy, a hunting to be a successful hunter, a hunter to somehow feel good. For one, and most of us know, that when you fall in love, all of a sudden there's no more hole. There's no more hole, it's filled. The hunting has stopped. You put down your spears, you put down your bear traps, you put down your wonderful, wonderful logic. Somehow you put all the games away. Somehow you put your bear skin away. Because the hunting is done. But one really has to ask, what is it? Or love is even very difficult to describe. And for this love, it's very difficult. No one can sell it. We try to sell it through perfume. And sometimes it's a nice shape of the hair or nice clothes to somehow compensate or somehow attract and use this love. For we know besides that, and the opposite side of that is hatred, how two very contradicting forces really dominate this world. And whether it is the newsprint of our front page that war has begun, or that you have found that your heart is filled, no more gap. And very funny thing, it's like you have found your place. It doesn't matter whether you are on the top of the mountains of the Swiss Alps or the valleys of Germany or in the far reaches of the deserts of northern China. Your heart is filled. And yet somehow things are okay. And somehow the hunter is not necessary anymore. This thing that we have all searched for sometime in our lives. And sometimes we find ourselves in a particular stage in time where there is no hunting, there's no search. And somehow the hole has been filled with being okay with oneself, with one's jobs, with one's life. And we all find ourselves differently at different times. And yet what I can see, what has touched you and what has affected you so much is getting you to feel more and more comfortable with yourself as you are. Whether you are hunting or not. Whether you are comfortable with yourself or not. Because to be a hunter or a huntress, wonderful. To find the gap filled, wonderful. To find the gap, that there is a gap, wonderful. You are who you are and where you are. And most of us have found out we cannot get what we want. And most of us have found out it's very difficult sometimes when it's something that we cannot get. Very difficult. And there's something in the fire dance that at night you can probably, I would say, see it more what is taking place in the fire dance than during the day, because during the day there's too much light and because we see too much. But being that there are only 2 candles lit, giving us this little source of light, we're able to focus more of what is taking place. I love people's dreams. And whatever your dream is, and whatever it is that you want, good. Because in the fire dance, from a personal point of view, I make it so as much as possible that your dream or dreams can come true in some time and in some place. I'll tell you a story. Why? Some time ago, when my traveling inside was every night, I was traveling, and I found myself what I call the blue world. And I'm dreaming, but I'm not. And I know I'm dreaming, and I know I'm asleep, but I am not. And in this blue world, I found that whatever I thought, whatever I wished, it happened. It was like a wish-fulfilling gym. And it was like a little kid in a candy store. And whatever it is, it appeared complete. And like anybody, wow, here we go. Here we go. And if I never had this opportunity, and finally I finally got to go through all my wishes, all of them, no matter what they were, all my wishes. And the most odd thing about it was, now what am I going to do? There was no more wishes inside. Now what? And some of the wishes were so simple, ordinary things. Little wishes that little boy so long ago had a wish for, like we all did. We all had our own wishes. And the trouble when we're young and our brains are so fresh and our wishes are so pure, those imprints in our brain, those footprints, is a wish. Those footprints don't go away. They stay with us the rest of our lives. They just get covered up by another year of living and then another year of living. And then we have a great archaeological dig. Layers and layers of years of living. But those little wishes, they lie in everybody. Everybody. And because the innocence of the little one that has the wish, how so important it is to have those little wishes fulfilled. Inside. And in the dance is my personal hope and wish that your wishes come about. Because it gives a great relief. Unfulfilled wishes, they linger and linger and linger and linger and linger. Because you see, once the wishes have relaxed, then there's more room, more, you could say, brain matter, brain space to start to think of your grandkids, or the ones that are left behind. That their wishes are more fulfilled and touched. That what you leave behind, the earth is cleaner, the air is cleaner, the words are more clear, that the images left behind are better, and there's more hope left behind. But when I found that I had jam-packed my brain with so many wishes, I didn't have much room for anything else. That's why I never wish anything for myself anymore, but wish for others that their wishes come true, that they come out. The beautiful thing about this is realizing that every human being's brain, every brain, it's like a heartbeat, like a beautiful heartbeat, pulsating like a car's engine, but not just with 8 or 12 cylinders. Millions and millions of cylinders, spark plugs sparking all over. Love your brain. Love your heart. Then one can love or learn to like oneself. Then one realizes you may see a face, but there's a brain behind it. You may see a face you don't like, but there's a heart in there beating. And then one can easily transcend the personality and see a human being and not a citizen and not a flag from another country, but a brain and a heartbeat. That's what I really see in the dance when I take you in. A beautiful, tender brain is what I'm working, really. I'm working with all those spark plugs. I'm working with that heartbeat, pumping all that blood. Most of the work is getting you to believe in your own bones. Most of the work is getting you to trust your own bones, to relax with your own bones. We have learned not to trust people, not to trust flags, not to trust government, not to trust your neighbor, not even to trust your mother and your father. We have learned not to trust our left hand or your right hand. We have learned not to trust, maybe not in the morning, but in the evening, you can trust more. And this is a firing, the misfiring that has taken place in our brain and in our hearts, the misfiring. But I trust you so much more than you trust yourself. Because life knows what it is doing. It really knows. And if it made you, it knows what it is doing. And that means your own fate too. Your fate. Your fate, people. That means it's trusting your own fate. It knows what it is doing. Your story, your book of life, it knows what it is doing. And that was the whole, really the secret, the formula that released me. But that was hard, it was difficult. And tonight in the fire dance, you let the focus of the fire dancer, it's a fire dancer, people. A fire dancer is just another human. A fire dancer is just another human being. You watch the fire dancer. It is the dance that really teaches. The dance is a teacher. See, it's not God. People, they always start to put the focus on God and God and God and God and God. It's not the focus at all. The trees, put the focus there. People running, people walking, people working. People putting on their shirt, brushing their hair, laughing, getting tired. To see all of that, that is the God of it all. And not just Swiss. sound of the drum beats, the patter of the feet hitting the floor, the people yelling or people chanting, people breathing, people getting very tired, looking through your eyes, that. The dancer. The dancer. The dancer. Because see, you have to leave alone too, dancers. Peace to your minds. Peace to your hearts. Peace. Yo nekete nene aini yo nete ha ha ha. Niti. Open up your eyes. If in this wish, if there is something in your life that has been trailing you, if there's something in your life that has really been bothering you, you cannot get rid of it. No matter how long ago it happened. I'm going to ask you before the fire dance tonight, I want you to, on a little piece of paper, or but no, okay. Draw it for me. Draw the problem. You can put words, but draw the problem. Draw it. Colors if you wish, whatever. Even if you can't draw it, or just put it on paper. Okay? And bring that this evening. Or bring it to the next dance, or the one after that. Okay? But anything that is trailing you, bothering you, please do that and bring it to the dance. I'm going to ask that do not put anything on the altar. Right? And you give me these papers before we start the dance. Right? Give me your drawing or little words on there. Right? If it has something to do with your children, it's good. Same thing too. We know as parents, if something's wrong with your kid, you're going to be affected just as much. So, even for your children, draw it. Right? It's to clean house inside. It's quite a job. And it's not so easy. But I can see it's getting there, and it's much better. Much better. The other thing is that I know everybody is so much better when I bring you into the dance. And I'm going to ask most of you, please try not to think. Don't think. Don't try to outthink me what I'm going to do. Okay? Don't do that. Don't try to outthink me what my next move is going to be. Okay? If you have a problem, a dance is a dance partner. And whoever leads, leads. The other one follows. And then it's a good dance. If both are leading, problems. Okay? And if I would suggest you get a partner and you practice. Surrender to the partner and practice. And let the person move you around and surrender. Okay? Don't try to outthink or lead. Okay? Practice. It would help so much. What prevents so much of the fire, what prevents so much of this work to get inside of you is your tension. Your tension. Your analysis and your tension. Okay? Your analysis and your tension. The tension in your muscles, the rigidness. Huh? You can trust me, I think, by now. You know? I may bend you over, but I don't hurt most of you. Huh? Right? Right? You're gambling, but it's okay. So, okay? Please practice. Okay? Get with the partner and let the person be the fire dancer and let them, and so you can just relax, relax, relax. There is such a difference, and I think we all have witness. And it's usually the little ones, and teenagers more. Very few times an adult, but there are adults here that are, many actually, where they surrender. They just surrendered, period. And I hardly have to touch them. Hardly have to touch them, and they just... But the more you're in your mind, the more I got to grab you. The more I have to... because I'm going against you. You're going against me. Right? So practice. And especially going counterclockwise. Okay? You're so much better. But there's a reason why counterclockwise. There is a very good reason. Right? So have someone go counterclockwise. So you just become a ballet dancer out there. Okay? That would be good. And try not to think. The other thing that will help you so you're not thinking is to breathe through your mouth. If you don't breathe through your mouth and you're just dancing, have you ever seen me dance without breathing? I have. I've done that, where I have to. And it's... The breathing will help to keep your mind busy. Then you can be a good dancer. But if you're not breathing, you're a difficult dancer. You're very difficult because your mind is in there calculating what's going to happen. So if you breathe, your mind is focused on the breathing. and it doesn't have much time to think. It's too busy. Okay. And because there's so many people, I know a lot of you can really dance a great deal of the time. But again, this is a night fire dance. This is the time to be a good witness. Be a good witness and watch. Watch. And when there's less people dancing, then you get up to dance, okay? But give yourself plenty of time, no hurry. It's not how long you dance. That is not the point, people. It's not how long you dance. It's how well you dance. And all it can take is a minute, 5 minutes, and that's it. So it's not the longevity of the dance. It's the quality of your dance in those given minutes that matters. That's what matters. So give yourself a lot of relaxed time by sitting and watching. And when you get up to dance, breathe and dance. The more you're in your mind, the less fire I can give you. The more you're in your heart, the more fire I can give you. The more relaxed you are, the more fire can go through your body. The more tense you are and tight you are, the less the fire can go through. Okay? So please go to your places and practice. Any questions? Any request? Any request? No? Okay. I know you have a lot of requests. Okay. Okay, let me do this. There's going to be no cue after this. Any request? Yes. Is there a reason for counterclockwise? There is a very good reason why counterclockwise. Because we are in the northern hemisphere. We are in the northern hemisphere. It would be clockwise, southern hemisphere. Yes. Yeah. And there's more to that, though. Pulling diseases out when stress or some type of illness, they collect, they cling. And when you start to pull the body in counterclockwise, things start to pull away. What is not natural within the body pulls away from itself. The gravity just starts to naturally be pulled away. Then it's easier to work the person. Because things are pulled away. Illnesses, stress, calcium deposit, because the gravity pulls it away. Yeah. Yes?
We have to love the heart and we have to love the brain. But why do we have to stop the signal while we're dancing? You don't have to love the brain, you don't have to love the heart. It's in English, so maybe I'm trying to keep the English correct, okay? Because what you said, that we have to love the brain, we have to love the heart. No, you don't have to love it. When one learns to understand it, you cannot help but love it.
Right? But you don't have to. But once you start to understand the functions of the body, and it's such a miracle, then you start to respect it and eventually start to love it. You can. It's possible. And the breathing, and the last part of your question?
And then we have to stop.
You're going to think what you're going to think. You can't stop it. There's no turn-off valve. Right? So you can't stop that. But a person's intent can somehow relax it. You can relax it. And if you need to think, if you need to really think, it's okay. It's okay. But there's a difference. Have you ever? Do you go disco dancing? You like to dance? Do you like to do mathematics while you're dancing? Can you do mathematics and dance and enjoy it? You can't. Can you? Because it takes a different part of the brain. A different part of your mind is operating. And that's a part of the mind that where you put your focus to. Okay? And so when you're dancing is so it's to relax. Yeah. Yes. What do you say? Can you loud? The difference between destiny and fate. One's, look at it this way. The minute you're conceived, the difference between destiny and fate. The minute a human being is conceived, your destiny is ahead of you, but your fate is sealed. Your fate is sealed. Your fate is sealed. The minute your mother and father made love or had sex that night and you were conceived, your fate is sealed. You're going to be who you are until either you wake up in your third lifetime or you pass away. And to change that fate within your second lifetime, a transformation needs to take place to change it, to change the fate. If a person activates their free will, that changes the fate. And a person's destiny is from the time you were conceived to the time you leave. Your destiny is like a highway. And the highway is there. The road signs are there. The map is there. And all you can do is, you cannot help but walk it. You cannot help but be the child of your parents. You cannot help but be a citizen of France. You can't help it. That's your destiny. You were born there. Yeah. People think fate is having this job. That's not your fate. Or people think getting married to this person is your fate. That's not your fate at all. One's fate is you could say it is accumulated act, and sometimes it can be an act itself. But it comprises it can be comprised of years before the fate actually has completed itself in the given lifetime. Most human beings never actually touch their destiny. Most don't. And there are many that do. Let's go home and rest and get ready. Okay. Yes. Ah, okay. Sweat lodges. Yeah. So tomorrow morning at 10. All right. So most of you know where the sweat lodges are. Okay. If you don't, just ask someone else, because most people know where the sweat lodges are. And they're nice. If you have never done a sweat lodge, please do a sweat lodge. Please go through it and do it. It's good to do. Very good to do. See you in 3 hours. The back 3 rows, please stand up and come this way. Live. Huh? What?
Can I give it to you?
Oh no, at the fire dance. In the fire dance. In the fire dance. That's the best time. Life is not fair. Hi. There are many empty seats. So the other row, stand up and come this way. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. So that's what you look like. Always wanted to know. Okay, the next row, stand up. In back. Yeah. Franz, Dirk, yeah. Let's see, Daniela, no, the row behind you, stand up, yeah, that one. Yeah. Maurice, that row, yeah. Those two. Those two behind you, Maurice, also, can you have those? Yes, yeah. God, it is a terrible feeling to take someone to take your seat. It's a terrible feeling. After all that investment. Investments are... Okay, 2 more. Yeah. Who else? We got 2 more seats, 3 more, 4 more seats. We got 3 more. So who's next? Who's next? Yeah, 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 yeah. Who else? Yeah. We have 2 seats over here. Can you fill those up, please? Also, we got. We need one more person over here, please. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Sigun, we got 2 more seats. Yes, there's 2 over here. Yeah. That's taken. We got this one seat. Yeah. And now let's fill up the other ones. Now let's come on, please. Okay, come on. Yeah, just move the coat. Move it. Yeah, just move it out. Yeah. No, don't put it on the stage. Put it over there, please. Yeah. It doesn't look good on the stage. Yeah. Investment. Investment. Investment is a beautiful thing to learn to invest wisely. But to understand the repercussions of investment, there are repercussions. Repercussions. What's a German word for repercussion? Huh? Huh? What? Louder? No. What? Malcolm? No. Repercussion.
Rückschlag. Rückschlag. Is it a physical thing in physics? You have the
Yes.
Ein Rückschlag.
Louder?
Rückschlag.
Okay. Okay.
Rückschlag.
Here. Yeah?
Rückschlag.
Hausbuckum? What's Hausbuckum? Huh? Consequences. Okay, consequences. Repercussion is a better word. Consequences has, but repercussions, something, if you throw a ball against the wall and it bounces back, it's a chain of events. The repercussions is a chain of events that don't stop. It continues to, you just don't get hit, you get thrown back, then you get a headache, and then you lose memory, and then repercussions, it just keeps mounting, more and more and more and more. Repercussions, it just doesn't stop. Investments have a unique quality to have repercussions. Investments, basically, people, belongs to the bank and to the stock market. But people, they use the bank, they use this definition of consequences or investments, it's investments for themselves, as it is for the investment of always sitting in front. And now it's very difficult in the back. Now you get to see what other people see like from the back. I've waited long enough. After coming 11 years, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to gain your trust. Years to gain your trust. Years. And then slowly, very carefully penetrate our feelings, our sensitivity. This is where we block ourselves. This is where we put ourselves in the bear traps. This is where we put ourselves, we wall up ourselves. We build our own wall around ourselves. Investments. The investment of sitting in front it's a beautiful investment. It is healthy. It's wonderful. It's really a good attitude, and it's a wonderful thing to do. But if there's one thing that I can teach you, and that is about time. Time, living, doing, sleeping, eating, time, go to bed, wake up, time, breakfast, working, lunch, time, go to work, dinner, relax, sleep, time, next day, and pretty soon, what we do, what we put our investments in, we become insensitive to it. The investment. Every day is a very important day, but for every day to be new, what is that going to take? For every day to be a new day, what's it going to take? That is, in the early stages, have a very good, clear understanding that investments will lock you up. Investments will blind you. Investments it will teach you to be sensitive to your money, but insensitive to the situations in your given life. You become sensitive to the gain and the loss of your investment that you put in a bank or in your child. But you become insensitive actually to your own life as a result. Because the investment takes precedence. The investment takes the focus. And pretty soon, day by day, so many days are gone, so many weeks are gone, so many years are gone, don't even know. But the investment has started to lock you up inside. And in time, it's our hurt. It's our being in a certain position, being in a certain place. We're locked up and we don't know it. The investment has literally put us there. What is the investment of a 2-year-old? What is the investment of a 4-year-old? Here's something. I put the pictures are back there, and can you bring those up? It's in that envelope. No, it's in the one in the back, on the far right. Yeah, the box in the back where the coat is. Yeah, and it's to the far right. It's inside to the far right on an envelope. Yeah. In Lyon, this man, I have a picture of him if you want to see it. It was his first time to the fire dance, and you could see he's 65, 70, 75. It's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. But you could tell he's got a lot of experience and a lot of age, and he was very quiet, just really quiet. And the most beautiful thing about when new people come are the very young. I'm talking about the very young and the one with age. The contrast. When I see a young person, a young woman, I see an old woman. And when I see an old man, I see a young boy. There's something in this. And when the fire dance started, he took off. He took off, and that man, you could see, has been dancing. That man had been dancing in his heart. He was as wild as me. And he was just moving. He was moving more, and he was more agile than all the young people. Because he was free. He was free in his heart. He was free in his heart. It was, and every now and then while I'm bringing somebody else in, and there he is, just wild, just moving away, watching this guy, and bringing him, and then I let him cook for some time, and he just kept on, and he did not quit. He did not quit. And I said, oh boy, okay, now let's bring him in. And he was like a young one. Just total surrender, just easy to move, easy to just move. And he was just there, no thinking, just total trust. And later on, he after the dance, he was so grateful that he came across this, that it brought him out. He was just so grateful. And I said, what do you do? He says, I'm a painter. I said, would you please take a photograph of your paintings and send them to me, please? And these are it. And they're very much like York's. Okay? They're very much like what York does, but he paints it. And it's profound. It is so profound. And this man understands investments. He understood where investments lie, and that belongs to the bank. And as a parents, we have investments in our children. But the investments that really binds people up, that ties people up around their ankles and around their neck, are the investments that people put into their everyday life. And I waited for years, and I've talked about it for years, about the people sitting in front. For years. Because I know it's easier to be shy and sit in the back than it is in the front. And there's a difference to sit in the front. There is. It is better to sit in the front. Because you're closer, you can see. The contact is there. It does make a difference. That's why I like to bring the people in the back closer so I can see you too. It makes a difference. But because of the investment of that, even though it's wonderful and it's healthy and it's good and it's wise too, time and other people, time and taking, what is the situation here? What is the astronaut's perspective? The astronaut's perspective, once we started to rise and get away from the Berlin Wall, and it's no longer east and west because we're too high, and now it's just one country, and now it's just not one country, we go a little bit higher, now it is one continent, and now we're much higher, and now it's a planet. The higher perspective. And this is what we've been talking about for years at Higher Perspective. And that means for the mind to really expand, for the mind to really break its boundaries, to really, because once it reaches its ceiling, what are you going to do? Once you hit your ceiling of your mind, as far as it can go, and to go through that ceiling. As it was yesterday afternoon, and talking about to leave. What are you going to leave? What are you going to leave in this planet? Just don't leave your clothes. Just don't pass on your car or pass on your property. It's too easy. What beauty are you going to leave to the people as a thank you? As a thank you for picking up your garbage, sending water through your water pipes, giving you gas to cook your food, having stoplights, having policemen to give you tickets. What beauty are you going to leave to say a thank you? Thinking more than just of yourself. Thinking of the people in the back that have always sit in the back that never get to sit in the front. You get away from the Berlin Wall of complacency. Get away from the Berlin Wall of the investment all of a sudden blinding you to the people in the back because they count too. To think more than just of yourself. That's when a human being becomes bigger than the height of your body. That's when a human being becomes taller. That's when a human being's heart becomes bigger than its capacity. And it is a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. But this is really what the sages and what the mysteries are all about. The little things that we can sacrifice because there are other people too. And this takes us into the fire dance. After last night, there were probably around 200 people. And I want to talk to you about this. Personally, I love to take in everybody. But realistically, it's too much. It's too much. Personally, I want to show you, and you have seen it, that by spending time with and taking in just so many people and spending 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and sometimes 10 minutes with one person is a beauty. It's a beauty. And everyone can benefit by being a witness of that. Watching. It is a beauty. Because a fire dance it's not a manufacturing plant of processing the same thing over and over because there's too many people and trying to get it in and working real fast. It's okay, but no. to spend time, let's say, just with only 55 people per dance, somewhere in there. And with those 55 people, can really work those people. Really, that's the beauty. And to see it, and to watch it, and to see it is what's really going to touch your heart. I really think we have been together long enough that this sacrifice, you could say, it's okay. It's okay. Because after so many years, as you know, I can't try to break the conditioning and the investments that build up in coming to any place. I'll cut my hair, change, put on a tie. Just keep breaking your patterns, because this is what locks us up. This is what locks up everybody. To feel comfortable with the same. And if we're going to change inside, if we really want and expect change inside, we've got to allow change to take place outside and not control it and not expect it. And for the fire dance, and how to choose, here's something. This is something. We have heard that we are guests. Even the Swiss are guests in the Alps. This may be your country, but you're still a guest on this planet. And everyone has that round trip ticket back out. And if you are a guest here, and then you receive guests in your home, and the Germans come, the French come, the Irish come, the English come, the Scottish come, what is appropriate for the Swiss to treat the guest in their home? Oh, please. You first. It's good for all countries, huh? And I'm going to do the same for all the countries. Guest first. To build up not just character inside, to build up a strength inside, to build up any sets of values that you may like. It's one becomes more quiet, more forgiving, and one doesn't put oneself in in the first seat. Stand back, stand back, stand back. Case in point. The first trip to Europe back in 1990, I think it was. And it was a retreat held by this Lama. And I knew this Lama can help me. If anybody can help me, this Lama can do it. And there were 1,500 people there. And in Buddhist retreats, a lot of people get desperate. And they get to the as close as possible to, and you know, they were just really, and my understanding at this time, as long as you are in the house, it's okay. Just as long as you are in the house, you're close enough. Because everyone walks in as a glass house. The spirit sees. It sees. As long as you walk in the house, doesn't matter if you're in the back of the house or in the very front, in the kitchen or in the living room, you're in the house. But it's how you walk through that door is what makes the difference. Who is walking through that door? And I always sat in the back. And the most beautiful thing was to find others that were peaceful with that. They were good with that too. There weren't many, but they were. You could tell it was wonderful. Other people understand that. And the gift came from all the way to the back. All the way to the back. And I never sat in front. And even though I wanted to, even though I never, I wanted to look into his eyes and wanted to touch him, but I can't. And as it is for in the fire dance in front of the altar, people offer that seat in front to people that have never sat there, so they can see too. It took you some time to have the courage to sit there. Now you found you benefit. There's a difference sitting there in front of the altar. Offer that seat to others. Give that up and help them. This is how we help the world. This is how it gets better. And imagine if that was you in the back and somebody offered you that front row seat in front of the altar. How would that make you feel? And if you find resistance, you find desperation. Good. Now you know you still got desperation, you still have something to work inside. Good. Offer your seat and go work your desperation and dance it out. If you sense a little greed, good. Good for you. That's what it's for. Still offer your seat and go dance your greed out. Sweat it out. Yeah, sweat it out. It's painful? Good. It's supposed to be painful. Sweat it out. Yeah. And also in the dance, the people dancing, do this. I see those that come up to the front. Figure on staying in front maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes dancing, and then rotate and dance all the way to the back, you know. Go all the way to the back and make a circle. Come up to the front and back and front and back. Huh? Don't stay there anymore. Rotate all the way to the back, you know, and dance around. It's better to, you know, be a little, you know, turn around and wild and go all the way to the back. And you get it'd be easier on your body, actually, easier on your feet, and you'll find that you'll love it a lot better. So, rotating around. So there's a lot more movement. Keep the movement going. Keep it going. Be a red blood cell, you know, and go to the toes, way in the back, and then come up to the head, and you know, and then go to the arms over here, and go to that side, and then go to this side, you know, and don't stay on one side. Go east, go north, go south, you know, go visit your neighbors over there. And you say, hey, how you doing? Oh, real fine, man, real good. Yeah, this is cool, man. Yeah, I got to rotate. Okay. Eh? Yeah. I know you're all got very beautiful faces, and you want me to look at your beautiful face when you're dancing there. Yeah, I know it's beautiful. So wonderful, yeah. And especially when you show me your teeth. Yeah, it's nice. You know, having one person there longer than 3 minutes, 4 minutes, especially getting to 5 minutes. Being able to put much more fire into you. And for the witness to observe it and to watch it. You're taking it in. You're receiving. You're watching the beauty of two human beings having this relationship. You know? Yeah. No. Can I have some water, please? I gotta read you this. Someone brought this. This is really good. Maybe we just had to just use this as our mantra, and then we'll have things worked out. Okay. Why worry? I'm going to put the pictures of this wonderful man. Yeah. Why worry? There are only two things to worry about. Either you are well or you are sick. If you are well, there is nothing to worry about. But if you are sick, there are two things to worry about. Either you get well or you die. If you get well, there is nothing to worry about. If you die, there are two things to worry about. Either you go to heaven or you go to hell. If you go to heaven, there's nothing to worry about. But if you go to hell, you'll be so damn busy shaking hands with friends, you won't have any time to worry. Imagine we'll all be together. See, it's not so bad. Oh yeah, I'll do seminar. I'm doing one here. You think this is heaven? Tomorrow, I wanted to show the movie. Bettina, you don't have the... Okay. Okay. So it's a good movie, huh? Should we show it today? Well, how many want to see it? If we're going to see it, we'll see it after the break. A 2.5-hour movie. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I have not seen it, but I've heard a great deal. There's no place else you can see this anymore, and we had to rent this from this industry in Paris. And so this is a rented film. And what is it called?
It's called The Long Holiday.
The Long Holiday.
And the director died at the beginning of this year.
Ah.
So he did the movie in '98. He started to film it to travel. I think it took about 1 year. And these the pieces. So this is why I thought it's not travel.
We have to return this movie by Tuesday, I believe, so it would be good to watch it. So we're going to have a break, and then we're going to go into the movie. Is it all set up, Reiner? Yeah.
It's Dutch, but with English subtitles.
English subtitles.
So if somebody can't read the English or needs the translation, he could maybe do something with the translation because
Not many. Not many. Is there are there a lot of words? Are there a lot of speaking?
No, not enough for speaking, but there are some very simple and sometimes very focused words. It's easy, nice to understand.
The reason we brought this to show you is this person has left a beautiful gift behind at the end. He took time out of his life to do this, even though he had a death sentence on him. But he decided to put beauty into it and gave time, and it was a heartful thing to see what a human being, to see what we all can do. Because everybody in this world can leave some beauty behind. Whether it's just one page or a little poem or helping someone or speaking to someone. And think about this. What can you leave behind? Maybe it'll take another 10, 20 years, maybe 30 years to know. Maybe it'll just come to you somehow in the streets. Or maybe it'll be a passion that will be running through your blood and you cannot help but do it. But here you have a good emphasis, a good focus. Whether you are young or whether you have age on you. What can you do to leave behind? To say thank you to the garbage men, the policemen, your teachers, the judges, the mothers and the fathers, the people who print books and magazines, the actors, the actresses, the doctors, all the nurses, your neighbors, to say thank you. What can you leave behind? And here, this person has left something behind. Something we can see. And because this is so important, it is so important. This is so important, people. This in itself can just start to touch the very subtle bodies within you. I can just start to just barely touch it with a very soft breeze deep inside your bones. And that breeze, because there's an intent behind it. Because it is because of your generations before you that has given you your bones. You're speaking to all these generations and to the future generations. What can it awaken inside you that has never been awakened? Deep inside. If you're thinking not 2 feet from the Berlin Wall, your perspective is not 10 meters from the Berlin Wall. Your perspective is just not of the past and just not of the present, but it's of the future. And it's beauty. And it's a care. A very soft, Who calls me? Who is knocking on my door? Your spirit says. Who awakens me from my dream? Your spirit speaks. It is I, the person in the skin. It is I that have watery eyes. It is I that lives with the elements. It is I that can feel the feet sore and tired. It is I that eats and cries. It is I that dances and plays music. It is I that sometimes is lost. It is I that wants to be found, that now is knocking on your door. For you see, your spirit is of the three times, the past, the present, and the future. But if we just keep our eyes into the past, if we just keep our eyes just into the present, or if we just keep our eyes into the future, the three worlds can never be awakened. It takes all three. The Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost is very, very real. The past, the present, and the future. Who's knocking on my door? Who has awakened me from my sleep? It is I that wants to be found. It is I that is known by this name. It is I that has this address. It is I that has this driver's license. It is I that has eyes to see but yet cannot see. Spirit is the astronaut's perspective. It is. As the people in front, you could say being in the present, and then going to the back and being in the past. But being in the astronaut perspective and giving up your present, constantly walking into the future up here and walking back, coming up and walking back. And to be in all three times simultaneously, then you'll understand. Our shoes are great, and they're wonderful even when they're underneath the bed. And yet they're wonderful to wear. But I wonder what the feet of my own spirit really is. I wonder. Let's take a break, and then we'll go into the movie. Oh, we have a translator from Dutch into French. Is that possible to do?
Oh, yeah.
Is it possible to set that up? Oh, it's set up. So we can have Dutch into French. Nice. Very nice. Let's turn your seats more this way, huh? And turn your seats. Yeah. I can change my mind, huh?
Well, we changed it.
We have still quite a few people missing. They're probably downstairs taking care of the cups and washing the dishes and such. Yeah. Earlier, there was a question about what this is, what we're doing here. And she's only been a few times, and her comments were extremely straightforward. She says, when I go to church, I know I'm going to church, whether it's Catholic, or if I go to a Muslim, or go to a Jewish temple, or if I go to a seminar, it's a seminar. But this is not a seminar, and this is not a workshop. What is it? What is it? Because there are no titles. And I haven't figured it out, so I'm asking you, what is it? Does anybody know?
We have heard it's an Emaho seminar.
Yeah, but a seminar is when you actually learn something with the education system of reason and logic, and you learn how to work, or how to think better, or how to be more professional, or how to be positive, or how to make more money, or how to win friends. This is not. So it's not a seminar. That's true, but we call it a seminar. But it's not. And it's not a workshop. It's a gathering. It's good. I mean, yeah, we do gather here. Yeah, that we do. We gather. It's a gathering. That happens every now and then. A gathering. But what is it? Cleaning up? No. What makes it so difficult? Because you know what happens when you leave here and then try to explain it to somebody. It's not wise to explain it. It's a gathering in a good restaurant. And good food, with good food. Yeah, it's different. It is, it's different. Heart meeting? You can't say that. Can't say that. Because in all societies, the understanding of heart is so relative. It's so relative. There are probably maybe 300-400 different definitions of the heart, maybe even much more. And even when it comes to a social level, an economical level, parent level, generation level, it's too difficult. But you can't really use heart. We talk about it every now and then, but it's never really printed because we all come from so many different cultures and so many different backgrounds, and our dictionaries are so different. Everybody's dictionary is so different. Almost about every word we have a different definition. All of us do. And if we break down these words and syllables, we can find stories in each word. So many stories backing up hurt, pain, experiences between each word. And by the time we bring it to a Swiss or German or Russian, we're all speaking Greek to each other. And that's pretty much how it is. It's very difficult. Yeah.
Something about life?
Something about life. Yeah, it's very general, but its essence is there, but still not quite. Yes, it's of that. Yeah. But yes.
It's difficult to express the importance of the preparation. When I say what are we doing, because preparation is a very important part, but it's not like a seminar.
Yeah. Yes.
Private lessons
Private lessons about
about life.
life. It is a very private situation here, yes. It is a very private. It is actually, there's only two people here in this room. There's only two individuals in this room. You and me. That's it. There's only two people dancing when we're dancing, just you and me. That's what makes it difficult. And yet, it's a very personal, too. Extremely personal. Yeah. And as you know, it took a lot more than just one day or one weekend. It took years to acquire this. It took years to acquire this. And the difficult with being new in this situation, because there's probably only one, maybe two new people in here. The rest have been coming for years and years. And so we all know each other very well. But the two new people is really what's difficult. And you all went through it. And on this tour, the problem with being new are the typical comments that one naturally expresses in any given situation. For instance, it was in Starnberg in Germany. And I said, okay, everybody come on in, you know. And so everybody's closing their seats, you know, coming around me. The next day, okay, everybody come on in. You know, everybody's coming on in, you know. Next day, everybody, you know, come closer, you know, everybody's coming closer. Then, you know, we do a fire dance. And this, she's a therapist, and she's close to her 70s, very, very alert, very bright, very bright. and she's very grateful for the dance. And she says, I noticed that you depend, that you really need these people to be very close to you in order for you to teach. Because you always have them come real close, that you really need it. Why do you need it? Oh, yes, there's some great movies on television. And I said, do you like to have your television 20 feet away from you? Or do you like to have it closer so you get to see the action and the little things that go on? I mean, isn't it better to have it 20, 30 feet away from you? No, you can't see it. That's why I tell people to come closer. Because the big killer, where most people lose the opportunity to gain something, to learn something, to hear something, to learn to feel differently, to understand differently. The killer of all are your comments. Your initial judgments and your comments. Kill it. Kill the opportunities. And people have a nasty habit of doing this, and we learn it from a very early age. We learn it from our parents, we learn it from our relatives, we learn it from our peers. Comments, 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 comments. Oh, I know why you did it. Oh, I know why you did this. Oh, I know why you are like this. Oh, I know. Comments, killed it. And then pretty soon, the educated, well-educated, tens of thousands of dollars of putting up buildings, printing textbooks, paying teacher's salary, farmers buying food from the farmers, water, the investment of getting clean sheets at night, pillows, all of a sudden is a big waste because we have taught our kids a wonderful education, but also taught them, in the meantime, to do this and this. And one of the most phenomenal things about a human being is time. When it comes to the mind, when it comes to hearing, the last syllable of that word, the last word, the little nuance, the little tone, missing the tone, or grabbing the tone, missing the joke, missing what is really meant. Or blinking as not to see their goodness, but knowing not to blink to see their weaknesses. The human being, in the mind, body, we have the power to blink when we want to blink. We have the power to all of a sudden turn the head as not to see your beauty, but we have the feelings and the power to turn the head and to see your ugliness. So therefore, that's all we can see. That's all you are. And it's just not intuitiveness. It's more of the feeling nature, but it's really more of the emotional body that scans the area. And this is where we really operate from. This is how we really get by. This is where synchronicity all of a sudden can show its face. This is where all of a sudden we can be knocking on the door at the right time, or all of a sudden be 1 minute late from getting that job. Then we call it bad luck or good luck. We call it misfortune or good fortune. We call it bad karma or a beautiful fate. But it is us ourselves that put our feet into our shoes. It is really us that decided to wake up at that certain time. It is us that really decided to be late. It is us that kept us a minute from being in synchronous to life, or being 5 minutes behind. It is us. But we play dice like going to Las Vegas, grabbing a pair of dice and always throwing it, or doing tea leaves and wondering, what is it for the moment? What is it for the day? What is it for the hour? We play, and we have learned to play hide and seek with our own minds. We have learned to play hide and seek with our own lives. And the weaver of your own life, the weaver with that very, very special needle, and that weaver with a very, very special thread that we have found somewhere in our toy chest, somewhere in our mother's eye, somewhere in our father's hands. And with this thread and needle, we have literally woven our life together. We are literally woven our life together. And when we make taut the thread, that we have a fabric of a smile, of sadness or joy, intelligence or ignorance. Who is the weaver, I ask? Whose fingers are those? And who is the one that blinked? And who is the one that had the courage to keep the head still, even though it hurts so much to look ahead? Who? And it's not much to do with responsibility, or really responsibility belongs just to take care of your kids and do your job well. Don't speed too much. It's really just waking up to really what it is just to be a human being. That's very remarkable, very complex, that has a mental body that you could say it is much more developed than most people in third world countries. And yet there are many people in third world countries where their heart, you could say, is more developed. Maybe not their mental body, but their emotional body could be. And yet continue to be Swiss and leave your mountains and go visit the world. And learn to see in the faces, in the eyes, and in the voices. And not just the dirt and the trash and the garbage. And not just the incompetence of their policemen or their politicians. For whether we are born and raised in a dump yard, or born and raised in a Swiss home where everything is so nice, where you can find the beauty in a swamp, you can also find the beauty behind the veil of war, and even behind the veil of ignorance and deceit. For there lies a human being who somehow's predicament was a little too strong. There lies a human being who got caught in a bear trap and didn't have the strength to open up the trap. Know yourself. Just a little bit every day, just 1%. Don't go over 40%, you will burn out. Just 1% a day, very, very slowly. Know yourself. And when you're when you're very mean, you learn what it is to be mean. And when you're hateful, you learn what it is before hate runs away from your life. See what it is that hate does to you and does to others before it disappears. And if you are lost and there's no map, you learn what it is to be lost and be a professional of what it is to be lost before you are found. It is only those that wake up and acknowledge what their situation is. It is only then and those that can help others because they can recognize the ones that are lost, the ones that are confused, the ones that do not know. Time is on your side. It always was and always will be. For to find yourself alive in the year 2001, it's a miracle. You don't need to be Catholic, you don't need to be Buddhist or Jewish to know this. And by taking a survey to see where you have landed, somewhere on top of the mountains that they call the Alps. Your food is better, your water is clean. Be grateful where you have landed. Be grateful. Be proud of the land you have landed on, and you'll find yourself being proud of your bones in time. Do not tear down your country. Do not tear down your flag. For no matter what country you land on this planet, you can always find minuses and pluses. You can always blink at the wrong time. You can always find a reason to turn your head and not to see the goodness too. In this world, little kids are brainwashed. Little kids, most kids are brainwashed to see nothing but the negatives in this world. Literally brainwashed. And then their minds become critical and sarcastic. And when they find not just tens and twenties, but they find hundreds, and they find thousands, and they find tens of thousands. And then they realize that there are millions, and then they realize there are more than millions, there are billions of people that believe the same way of criticalness and negativeness of humanity and societies. And then they wonder, why was I born? Go against the billions. Do not join the mob. Go against the billions and stand alone. And go out and seek the goodness that have been taken away from you, that you had so easily without any effort, without any books, without any knowledge. The goodness was there when you were young. The spontaneity you didn't have to search for, you didn't need a seminar for, you did not need instructions for you were in sync with no effort whatsoever. You have not lost anything. Synchronicity just lying there, just a little bit to the left or to the right. The synchronicity is lying there just a little bit in front of you or just a few millimeters behind you. Just ready for you to step into it. Just ready for you to walk into it. No human being can ever know you, whether it be your lover, your husband, your wife, your son, your daughter, your best friend. No one can ever really know you. That is only between you and your Creator. And the real lover of life is it between the Creator and you. And that is only the business of yourself. It is no one else's business. And when you learn quietly to speak to your own heart, as you would to your best friend, as you would to your lover, it is just not the beat and the pumping of your heartbeat that sends out waves like a rock on a pond. But the waves, they go out further than what you can see. And the waves are constant, and finally they reach the ears of a friend, a long-lost friend. Maybe not human. For years are everywhere. And maybe one day that friend hears you calling and they come. And they come just for you, to help you. And if you just think about it, you all have come from some direction. You all have come from some time. And most of you, I have never been to lands that you have been. But I know where all of you have come from. You have very, very dear friends. But you must speak to your heart. For that is the radar, that is the antenna. If you find that your mind is ill, know it. It's okay. Just know it. If you find that your mind is healthy, it's okay. Just know it. Do not hide it from your heart, but you can hide it from your friends here. But do not hide it from your own heart. And let the book of your own life, let it be read to your own heart. All the things that you have done, good things and bad things. And then one is so ashamed of oneself and it's not guilt. For too many people, guilt is their God, and fear is their God. Don't let it be your God. That is where you fight for your life and reclaim your life. And when a human being finally grows up and really understands prayer, searching for it in books, searching for it behind trees, behind mountains and other lands, when you finally realize prayer, it is you. You are the manifested prayer. Whether your eyes are closed or open, whether what you speak is foul or pleasant. You are the manifested prayer. The hope revealed, darkness turned to light, intelligence encapsulated by one's heart. And then one's life is precious. The greatest prayer of all is not coming from a book. It is not coming from someone else's mouth. It is simply coming from your own heart. And if that is true, what does it say about you? What? You see, in understanding this, the work, the real work, by understanding this, then it brings up and draws up the question, the contemplation, then what am I going to do with my enemies? What am I going to do with my ignorance? What am I going to do with my cynicism? What am I going to do with war? What am I going to do with my hate, if that is so? You nekitititine aini you you nekitititine aini you nekitititine aini Ha. Peace to your minds. Peace to your hearts. Peace. Peace. Everybody. Open up your eyes.